Hey CRMers, today I'm going to be doing a vlog on using Office 365 and Microsoft SharePoint Online for customized help in Microsoft Dynamics CRM 2015. In my last vlog, I covered a method of how you could use Microsoft Word, and if you convert that to a HTML file, and if you upload that file into a web server and make it a site that is accessible within your organization, you can use that URL for your customized help in Microsoft Dynamics here in 2015. So that's what I covered last time, and if you haven't seen it already, go check it out. But this time around, I'm also sharing another method of how you could use other Microsoft products that exist. And how this came about is Andre and I. So Andre is another CRM professional that works here in Melbourne, Australia, and he recently had his MVP renewed. So Andre, congratulations if you're watching this right now. But yeah, him and I we caught up after the Melbourne CRM user group because both of us did presentations last month, and we talked about my recent vlog, and we thought it would be a good idea if we could utilize the products within Office 365 as well as Microsoft SharePoint Online for customized help for existing customers of Office 365 and Microsoft SharePoint Online. So that's what I'll be covering today. So Andre and I have done a joint post, but Andre doesn't like being in front of the camera, so it's just me in this vlog. Yeah. So anyways, here I am. I'm logged into Office 365. I don't know why that's so hard to pronounce, by the way. It's like 365. Anyways, okay. So the first one that I'm gonna cover is using OneDrive. So OneDrive could be an alternative from using a site that's hosted on a web server that's accessible within within the customer's organization network. So I think I did cover this in my write-up of my last post, but not in the vlog. So the difference with this one is I'm using OneDrive that is within Office 365. So I'm not using OneDrive from my personal Outlook email address. So it looks a bit different, and it's using the Microsoft SharePoint Online look and feel. So basically, after you've created your help guide in Word, you can upload it into here. So I'm just gonna drag and drop this file. Cool. So then what you do is, if you click on these three dots, so in I don't know, technology words, it's called an ellipsis, but I just say three dots because if you tell it to a customer, they're like, what are you talking about? Anyways, so click on these three dots and you'll find that there's a URL in here, and this is what this is pretty much the reference of where this document is being stored. So if you click on share, you can either invite people to see this document. However, I'm after the URL so that I can use it in the help URL in Microsoft Dynamics CRM. So then I just go on get link, and I can create a link. So right now it's creating a link for me, and basically all I need to do is copy that and paste it in the help URL of Microsoft Dynamics CRM. So let's have a go at this. I think I got all of it. Okay. So I've copied and pasted that. Sorry, I've copied it. And now I'm navigating to CRM 2015 online as part of Office 365. So just to be clear that this is a trial of Office 365 with Microsoft Dynamics CRM 2015 Online and Microsoft SharePoint Online. And let's just wait for the login to kick in. Okay, here we go. Okay, so just a recap, to go to the setting for enabling custom help in Microsoft Dynamics CRM 2015, we want to navigate to settings, and we want to go to administration, and then you click on system settings, and if we scroll down there is custom help URL. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. So I paste that in there, I click OK, I hit refresh, and I'm just going to navigate, let's say in the accounts view, and click on the question mark, and now it's bringing up the Word document that I've stored in OneDrive in Office 365, and this is the document. So it has worked. So there we go. That's cool. Okay, so that was using OneDrive for custom help in Microsoft Dynamics CRM 2015. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is using documents in Microsoft SharePoint Online. Okay, I'm just clicking back. Okay, so to get to SharePoint, I click on the grid tile over here on the top left, and we want to click here into Sites, and I'm going to select the team site, and in here on the left hand side you're going to see options, and I'm going to click on Documents, and it's pretty much the same style of what I showed you earlier in OneDrive, where you can upload your document into here. So let's give that a go. So again, I'm just dragging and dropping, and it's created in there for me. And pretty much the same scenario where you just go edit. Sorry, I didn't mean to click that. Share is what I meant to click. Okay, share. And get a link, create link, and a link is then generated, as you can see. So yep, and then pretty much follow the same steps as I showed you earlier, where you go into your Microsoft Dynamics CRM 2015 instance, and then you copy and paste the URL. Okay, the third method I'm going to show you is using a SharePoint site. So we're going to create a SharePoint site page. There we go. That's what I meant to say. Okay, so site contents, click on site contents, and there's an option here called site pages. So when we click on that, we're going to be presented with existing site pages. So I'm going to show you how this works. So if I click on new, it's going to go, okay, well, how would you like to name this site page? Click create, and it's created a site page for me within SharePoint Online in Office 365. So I can start typing my content. So I'm just going to copy and paste something that I grabbed, something that I did earlier. Okay, so this is what it looks like, and as you can see, I'm not in Word, but there's still the ability to edit the content within the site page in terms of the style and formatting. So I can, I can create headings. So I'm just going to highlight my headings and show you how this works. Okay, so here are my headings, right? So far, so good. You can, like in Word, you can also create hyperlinks. So this is an email. Sorry. No. Just bear with me. Oh, no, that's all I need to do. Okay, so it's actually gone and created it as a email URL, which is what I wanted. Where am I? Okay, yes, that's right. The cool thing about creating a SharePoint site page is you can embed videos. So if I want to add a video in here, I can. So what you can do, now this is just an example, if you have, let's say, a YouTube channel that is for internal purposes, and you've got someone that's doing recordings, you can do that as well. But I'm just grabbing the Get Started with Microsoft Dynamics CRM video. If you're wanting to know where I got this from, it's from the Microsoft Dynamics CRM Help and Training Customer Center, and it's this one in here. So I've just gone into YouTube to try and grab the link to embed it. So if I think it's this one. Sorry, I'm having a, it's right in front of me, embed. Okay, so this is what I want to grab. So I've grabbed this, so I've just copied it, and there's an option in here called embed code. So I can do that, and when I do that, it's gonna give me a preview of the YouTube video. So now I click on insert, and it's in here. So that's something that you can do this is something that you can do in a SharePoint site that you can't do in a Word document. Like I can't embed a video in it. So I thought this was quite good in terms of a SharePoint site page as a method for custom help. Okay, so far this looks alright. And then I wanted to know whether we could do a table of contents. So in my last vlog, I talked about how you can do a table of contents in Microsoft Word. However, in Microsoft SharePoint Online, I couldn't see how I could do this, because I thought surely there's a way of me being able to add a bookmark in Microsoft SharePoint Online, but it turns out that you can't. It is allowed for SharePoint Enterprise, so something that's on-premise but not online. Well, this is what I found. So then I searched online, and I found a very helpful blog post by another service provider. And this blog post tells you how you can create anchors or bookmarks, if you want to call it, in Microsoft SharePoint Online and Office 365. So basically, it's just HTML. So here it is. So basically, in your content, you need to add a reference so that in your table of contents, it knows that it has to direct to this heading. Hopefully I've explained that right. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to exit out of this page, and I'm going to show you a page that I created earlier. Okay. So this is one that I created earlier, and what I did was I changed the layout. So what I mean by that is, okay, where is it? Oh, here it is. So I decided to go with one column with sidebar. So this is actually a sidebar in here. And in the blog post, it says that you have to insert HTML in order to create the anchors. So the first one is in the email content, you need to highlight this area and click on edit source. And then you have to add this HTML so that the anchor knows that it has to reference this. And so when you're at your table of contents and you have this body as a table of content, you then also add HTML in here. So that's what I've done, and that's all explained in this post. So this is what I followed, and it really does work. So I thought that was quite cool, and again, that just shows the power of blogging, how what you know can help someone else. So to this service provider and to the author of this post, thank you, because I thought this was quite cool that I can create a table of contents in Microsoft SharePoint Online. Okay, so once you have that, that's all working. You can also start creating anchors for something like back to top. So as part of the end user experience, let's say someone's finished reading this particular section and they want to go back to here, it'll work. So I'm just going to check my site page. Just putting in a comment. Cool. Okay, so now this is the site page. So if I click on this one, it's taking me to body 2, and if I click on back to top, it'll take me back to the top because I've got a reference in here in the HTML code thanks to that blog post. And the benefit of creating those anchors is you can actually use these hyperlinks as part of the individualized custom help in Microsoft Dynamics CRM 2015. So what I mean by that is grabbing the URL behind here and pasting it into the entity help URL field. Okay, so I'm just going into my CRM instance. So to do that, you go into settings, and again, we want to go to sorry, it's been a long day. just give me a moment. Yes, you want to go into customizations or solutions. For now, I'm just going to use customizations, and I want to go ahead and copy and paste one of the URLs into the help URL field of one of the out-of-the-box entities. So if I click on account, when it finishes loading, it's going to give me the details of this entity. And if you scroll down, there's a help, use custom help URL field. So if I enable this, and we're going to quickly go back into the SharePoint site page, and I'm going to copy this URL. And you see how it's grabbed my bookmark. So this should work. And we're going to publish this. Okay. So I'm going to refresh my browser for the CRM, and we're going to go into sales. And now I'm going to navigate to accounts. Okay, here we go. And then 1, 2, 3. Yay, it worked. So it's now taken me to the anchor or bookmark of my site page, and that's because I've copy and pasted the URL that represents the anchor. And if I wanted to just grab just the site page itself, I just need to highlight this part, and we can just use that site page as the global custom help URL. So if I go into system settings and scroll down, I'm going to delete the URL that I pasted into here earlier, and going to refresh. And this time, how about we navigate to cases? Okay. Okay, here we go again. And 1, 2, 3. Yay, it worked. So now this is just taking me to the site page because of how I've just grabbed this URL reference and didn't I didn't copy and paste one of the anchor URLs. So that's the approach. Sorry, this is the approach in using the SharePoint site pages within Microsoft SharePoint Online and in Office 365. So before we wrap up, I'd like to cover the pros and cons of each one. So the first two that I talked about was using OneDrive in Office 365 and the documents in Microsoft SharePoint Online. So the advantages in those two approaches is that you can have multiple authors, so you can have different authors update the document. So that's quite good. You can share the document as well. So if you've uploaded your document into OneDrive, you can share that document to someone within Office 365, and the same with the SharePoint document. However, with the SharePoint document, one of the cons is that it needs to have, or that person that you're sharing with needs to have the Microsoft SharePoint Online license as well. Another con is because you're just using Word as a as your option. Sorry, because you're using Word as the custom help interface, and you've added a table of contents, you can't grab a URL for the table of contents. So I'm doing a really bad job in explaining that right now. So let me just open up the Word document so you understand what the hell I'm talking about. Okay, so here's a Word document, and I can't exactly grab this hyperlink that sits behind this page number. Like I can't, like do a right click and copy and paste a URL. So the first two methods wouldn't be useful if you needed to do individualized entity custom help in Microsoft Dynamics CRM 2015. So for example, let's say this is only relevant for accounts. I can't just grab the URL behind this particular section in the document and paste it into the help URL field in the account entity. So that's another downfall of this particular option. Now, in terms of the site page, one of the advantages I talked about was you don't have to use Word, but you still have the ability to format your site page in a similar way of how you would do it in Microsoft Word. So with this WYSIWYG editor up here, so you can change the format and you can apply styles. You can embed videos, which is pretty cool, and you can't do that with Microsoft Word. And even though you can't easily create a table of contents like you can in Word, there is a solution in creating table of contents, and it's using the anchor method, and by using HTML and editing the source behind the site page, which is what that blog post covered. And then again, because it's a SharePoint site page, you need to make sure that your end users of Microsoft Dynamics CRM have a SharePoint license. Otherwise, when they click on that URL, it's just going to error because it recognizes that this particular person doesn't have a SharePoint license, so they can't access the site page. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you learnt from this. And yeah, see you next time. Bye.